Hi! Today's mission is to tell y'all more crazy shit that my ex did. This is the exact same ex that I've already made a video about, but the list has increased, and the list will keep increasing is the thing, because like every time I remember something, like I tell myself, hey, I'm gonna like put this on the list later, and then I forget. But there's like a lot of stuff that's like not on the list currently, so there will be more to come. I need to just take a moment to sort all of these out to like sex related stuff and not sex related stuff. So I'm gonna start off with like the not sex related stuff to like ease us into it a little bit. And the first few is just about money. I need to reiterate for like if y'all have forgotten or haven't seen the first video, I was flatting, paying rent, paying bills. I was 17. He was in his early to mid 20s. He was still living with his parents. He had a full-time job and also a part-time gig as a personal trainer. As a personal trainer, he was making at least $60 an hour. And he would say shit like, I would let you like come he would say a lot of things. His thing was like definitely words. He would just like say a bunch of shit. I think this is the thing with like most like typical male dating experiences where they promise you a bunch of shit and then just under deliver. So he would say shit like, I would let you come live with me for free, like if, you know, I was living in a, like, which is so fucking easy to say because like you're not moving out. Like you're simply not. You're still attached to your fucking umbilical cord, one. Second of all, you would just never like do that. Not only would you have to actually look after yourself and like not rely on somebody else to like cook meals for you and all that shit, but you would also have to pay rent. Neither of which you are doing. Be so for real. Hi, my love. Hi. Join us. Come. Hi, my love. You're so sweet. And you'll see with like the other shit that I've like, you know, the next 2 points that he obviously just like wouldn't. Like that's such an easy thing to say because like you're not moved out currently, you're not going to, but even if you were, like, you're not currently moved out. And he wasn't for the entirety of our relationship, which wasn't very long, but like still say, like, you have not moved out. So it's so easy for you to say that. And it's just crazy to have to like think like this of some guy that's like what, 5-6 years your senior, but like he just doesn't have the fucking experience in order to like no, you wouldn't let me stay here rent free. The amount of space somebody takes up in a home, you wouldn't let me live rent free. You wouldn't let me live utilities free. You're not just gonna pay my like electricity and water for me. You're not gonna pay my Wi-Fi for me. You're not gonna like pay my food for me, like, and those were all things that I was essentially doing because he would come over so fucking often. He would literally just, I've said this before, he would come over, we would have sex, he would shower, he would eat my food, and then he would leave. Like, and it's crazy how he could just like that was just the standard, you know, visit from him, but he would still overstay his welcome every single time for like somehow. There was this time we had dinner with his friends in the city, right? So again, I was like freshly moved out, like I was really scared about finances, like you know, it's my first time moving out. I was a child. Like he had like a proper, I don't think he had his like full-time gig yet, but he was still making like his part-time gig, which is the PT, was his like full-time job at this point. So he was still like, you know, making hella bank because like even his side gig, like that was, you know, lucrative. He had invited me to hang out with his friends in the city, right? And so I obviously said yes. And he didn't tell me this, but we were going to get food. He was well aware of my situation. He knew I like was not in the position to spend any money because again, I was working like 2 minimum wage jobs. Like, you know, I didn't have the funds to like just go out and like go for dinner. So I had to sit there like a fucking idiot, like because I didn't know we were going for dinner. I had to sit there like a fucking idiot with a group of his friends like in this restaurant and just like not eat anything. Like that's so fucking weird. And also like as somebody who's like worked in hospital, like that's just like so like if somebody like comes in and just like refuses to eat anything, like I don't know, like it was just like not only was I there, like his friends witnessing me not fucking eating anything and just like being there because I didn't know any of them, so I wasn't exactly like the light of the fucking conversation. And then like the people who worked there, like watching me just sit there and not fucking eat anything, is just so humiliating because all he had to do was say like, hey, we're going out for food, and I would have said no. And the thing is, he like, since I'm already in that situation, right, as my partner, as somebody who is making a lot of money, and as somebody again 5 to 6 years my senior, why can you not buy me fucking something? And then I got a bit of hope because he offered me, you know, a few bites of his food, and I was like, slay, that's fucking something. Still really weird vibes, like he's like feeding me scraps essentially, like still very weird, but I was like, whatever, that I'll accept what I can get. And then he proceeds to ask me to transfer him the next day, which is insane. I was literally there, like, eating your fucking, like, the bites that you gave me, like, a fucking sip of soup, and, like, the lettuce that they put, like, on the bottom of the meat, like, and you're asking me to transfer one person's like full, like, you're crazy. Like, no, don't do that. That's so weird. Why would you do that? There were just like a lot of instances where like I would be under the impression that like there was literally this one time that he said like he would pay because it was like a fucking like 3 or 6 month like anniversary situation, and we went out and he was like I'll pay for you, and then I kid you not, we got, I don't know if I've already told the story in the first fucking video, but I'm telling it again. I reiterate, he texted me, I have written proof that he said I will pay, right? We get there, all we ordered was like, it was like this Japanese place. It was, oh my god, the thing is, it was this Japanese, it was like the place where like they cook the food in front of you. He didn't want to do that, so he just walked in and asked for like a normal table where they don't cook the food in front of you. We ordered literally a bento box and and I got like a side, like literally a tempura, like a veggie tempura. And guess what this man did? Asked me to transfer him the next day. And the thing is, I said no this time because I was like, I was with my bestie and she like had, I don't know why the fuck I was so like timid at this point in my life, but like I would not do that now. Oh my god. But like I was just like, you know, I guess a people pleaser. Like I was just scared to like say no to him basically, and I was with my bestie and like I was telling her like this as it was going on, and she's like, bitch, that's fucking insane, say no, because every single time he would ask me to transfer him, I would just say yes. And this time I was with my bestie and she was like, bitch, say no, because first of all, no, and second of all, he literally said like he like text message proof, like he said he would pay. So I texted him, I just said no, and he starts spamming with messages being like, well, don't fucking order something if you're not even like, why would you order extra shit, like if you're not even like gonna like transfer me for it. I was like, it was $15. It was a veggie tempura. And I was like, you said you would pay. And he was like, I thought you were just gonna like share my food with me because you don't eat much. I was really struggling with my body at the time. I'm not anymore. I don't care. There are worse things in the world than being fat. And many of the fat people I know are a hell of a lot healthier than a lot of the skinny people I know. Like I genuinely like gaff, truly madly deeply gaff. But he knew this, and it was crazy to basically like, I don't know, like get mad that I was not going to eat fuck all. He was, I said this in my last video, but he was like a fake feminist in order to get pussy is what I said. Another way that would manifest was in his like just leftism. Like he would very much be like pro-communist, I guess is the way that maybe he would go with, but like he was like, you know, so-called leftist, but what he really like, he was like for communism, right? But what he meant by that was that like he wanted, like he is the reason that people like communism wouldn't work for a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like he is the person that just wanted to do as little as possible for the most gain. Because he could like easily land jobs, you know, he had like a degree and he was like really charismatic, but at work, and he will admit this, he did fuck all. He told me about a previous job that he had where it was just like a retail job or something. It wasn't like, you know, like a proper job that like he got later on, but basically, oh, she's lying down. Oh, my sweet baby. My sweet little baby. He told me that like he aced his interview or whatever, got the job, and then his manager, like after he was like, he got the job and was like actually working there, because he would like turn up like late on the first day and all that shit, and his manager was like, wow, you're like so different to like your interview, like what happened? And he didn't seem ashamed of that at all, which like understand, like do not care about these companies, like don't, like truly madly deeply don't. But when I tell you that like this man genuinely just wanted like as little work as possible, like I remember complaining about this girl at my work, and how she like genuinely like just truly madly deeply does nothing. Like she would just like off, like she would like go on her break, like clock out like to go on her break, and then clock back in after her break, go back into the staff room and just sit on her phone and shit like that. Like that was like what she did. And he was like super supportive of that, and that was like the way that he would like, you know, brand his like leftism. That isn't. He should still put in like a baseline level of work. And secondly, 100%, we were working at like a fast food chain, like don't care about the fast food, like don't care, but care about the co-workers fucking around you. Like we still have to work, you know what I mean? We came in, we clocked in, we're getting paid, like we have to work, and you just stepping out and doing fuck all is affecting the rest of your team. I am not the company. I should not be punished because the company's a shit, like because the company won't pay us properly, or because the company doesn't care about us, right? You like need to pull your weight a little bit. And there was this one time we were in like a Mecca or a Sephora. I think it was Mecca because I don't think we had Sephora at the time. But we were in a Mecca and it just turned like closing time. It was like probably like 5 p.m, right? So it was 5 p.m. on the dot. They came to us and they're like, hey besties, like we're closed, so if you want to start like wrapping shit up, And we were like, yeah, all good. He checked his phone and he's like, bro, it's like literally like 5:01. Like, why? Like, it just turned closing time. Like, are you serious? You like again, he will admit this. He literally stopped working before his fucking shift ended. Like, even in his like proper big boy job of like fucking computer shit, I don't know. Again, like 9 to 5 regular job. He said to me, he was like, at like 4:55, he would just be sitting there like looking at his like sign-in screen on his laptop and everyone would still be working. He's like, bro, bestie, it's like it's time to go home. Like, so you could stop working before your shift ended and you could be a lazy piece of shit and you could do like the slight, like as little amount of work as possible for the biggest amount of gain. But they can't kick us out when they're literally closed. And now, like, having worked like a decent number of like minimum wage jobs, particularly in like hospitality, but like not like in retail, but it's like very similar vibes. Yeah, as soon as it hits fucking like closing time, I want you to get the fuck out. Are you serious? There's like a list of things that we need to do in order to get like out by this particular time. And most of the time, like a lot of places, if you don't get out, there's no like clock in, clock out system. If you don't leave by that time, you just don't get paid for the extra like what, 10, 15 minutes you stay. So yeah, absolutely I want you to leave as soon as the fucking clock hits 5. Next thing I want to talk about is we were once taking like not really a road trip. We just went like, a couple hours to this, I think like a beach or a waterfall or a hike, or I don't know what it was. I think it was a hike waterfall situation, but we went, it was like a couple hours away. So, we were driving there and I was in charge of directions, as you are. I will admit I am not that good at directions. A lot of people aren't that good at directions. I'm also one of those people who aren't that good at, oh, she's moving. They're good at directions. She's so sweet. So I think I was like already like riling him up. I'm just saying. I'm just prefacing it like before I finish the story. Like, obviously, like if if you're giving shitty directions and your man might get angry, like that's valid, right? But if he like pops off the way that he popped off, that is a red flag and you need to leave, right? Like, absolutely like get mad for like their fuck up, which is like causing you like extra minutes or like gas or whatever, right? You have the right to be a little bit irritated, but don't do what he did. Anyway, so it got to a direction where I gave him the direction correctly, right? I was looking on Google Maps and it said to like take a right at the end of the street. So I told him like, hey, take a right at the end of the street. He basically didn't take the right and he's like, where's the right? And I was like, bestie, you missed it. Like that was the right that you were supposed to take at the end of the street. And he starts like absolutely fucking yelling at me. He was like, you need to get better with directions. Like, and this was the one time I didn't actually fuck up. He was like, you need to get better with directions. Like, this doesn't even look like an end of the street. Like, you need to like be clear about where. I was like, bestie, this is not my fault. And I'm gonna look at you directly in the eyeballs right now. And you can't prove this, but like, I know it for a fact. That man was mad because I cost him like extra gas money. All he had to do was fucking Yui around. It would have been not even 10 cents worth of gas, but he was just mad because he is such a fucking cheapskate. And listen, love me a cheapskate. There are different flavors of cheapskates, and one of them you can never ever. This is, oh my god, I love this topic. But broke men always loved. The thing is, he wasn't even fucking broke. He was like willingly being broke because he kept fucking like chucking 80% of his fucking income into crypto and shit. But anyway, broke men will always love to complain about how like women don't want to date them and how they get no bitches just because they're broke and bitches are so shallow and like all this shit. Broke men are an absolute fucking pain in the ass to be with. They are so miserable. Like I literally said, he would invite me to dinner. I was on a budget. Like I would just simply not fucking go. But he like basically tricked me into going, didn't say what we were doing. And then I just had to sit there like a fucking idiot. All they do is talk about money. All they do is stress about money. Obviously, if you're in a bad financial position, you're going to stress about money. You're going to like, think about money a lot. The way that men do it when you're dating them is so fucking different. Do not do it. I'm currently also dating like another like broke man, but like he is making less money than the guy that I was dating. Yes, he's still making enough for us to live, and he still pays for me to have fucking food on the table. He will still pay for a fucking date, and I don't have to worry about the next day whether or not he's gonna ask me to transfer him $15 fucking for my side, which I had as a main, and then have him blow up at me because I said no. I do not have to worry about him yelling at me because I charged him an extra cent of fucking gas money. And now onto the sex stuff. This list is a little bit longer, and I need you to be able. Okay, I want to preface this by saying, I don't give a fuck how many people are going to tell me kink shaming is bad. If a man wants to violently beat you the fuck up during sex, there is something wrong. I think it's like a normal level of like violence in the sense that like there are things that are definitely like normalized. There are things that are just culturally the norm for having sex, which I think is a different conversation in and of itself. But things like light choking or like spanking and shit like that, I feel like that is like normal. You know what I mean? But like, if he genuinely wants to like fucking hit you up, if he wants to punch you and shit like that during sex, something is wrong with him and you need to run. I don't give a fuck if you like if you find it hot for like a man to be like dominant and like assertive and shit. There is something wrong with him. You need to find somebody the fuck else because you need to like compromise a little bit. Because the idea that you have in your head of like what you think is sexy, like you need to tone it down because like in real life it does not work like that, right? I don't give a fuck what you think is hot. You need to tone it down a bit. You need to find men who don't want to beat you up. Now, point number 1. The first time we ever hooked up, he just starts degrading me off the fucking bat. That we never agreed to. That's something that definitely requires a conversation. You can't just go in the first time hooking up with somebody and calling them a slut and a whore and like a dirty little bit. Like, you can't do it. That's really gross. And the thing is, I wouldn't have even minded, like, if he had just asked first. Like, if he asked, I would have been like, yeah, sure, it's not my, like, I have no, like, qualms with it, right? Again, like, that could be a massive red flag if he likes to call you certain words in bed, but, like, there's a little bit of wiggle room with that. I wouldn't be too turned off by it. Like, I'm completely neutral against, like, being called degrading names. But the fact that, like, he just went in with it, we had no conversation, I never agreed to it, I never consented to it, and he just, like, went in with it, crazy, something is fucking wrong with you. There was this one time where I got high with his friends in a car, and, like, my tolerance, for, like, literally everything is really low. Like, I get drunk really fast, I will get high really fast. So I took a few tokes, and I'm out like a light, basically. I don't function very well on weed, but, like, back in the day, like, I also just, like, couldn't be asked. Like, he was kind of just fucking me off. I was just, pretending to be asleep. I was also, like, genuinely, like, out. Pretending to be, like, less responsive than I really was. Like, I fully was pretending to be, like, completely asleep and, like, not conscious. But I was, like, you know, like, I had a little, like, I could speak if I really wanted to, but I didn't want to. Because I just wanted to, like, fucking gap, and he just, like, wasn't getting it. But eventually, we, like, leave, and we start... He, like, decides that we should, like, chill in his car before I go and drive home, right? Because I'm, like, in a state. So, I don't know how it fucking escalated this, but it's fucking insane, in my opinion. No, but, like, it's genuinely fucking insane. We end up in the fucking boot of his car. He tries to, like, deadass try to, like, have sex with me in the back of his car, and I'm genuinely so, like, thank God I was less high than I was pretending to be, because I was, like, so out of it, like, genuinely so out of it. He, like, genuinely starts, like, trying to make out with me, tries to start, like, fingering me and shit like that. Like, I think he probably did, like, genuinely actually finger me. The day after, I saw him again, and he was like, yeah, like, when you were, like, you know, like, super high and shit, like, I just felt this, like, overwhelming urge to protect you. Another example of him just, like, yapping. Because what the fuck do you mean? I was faded as fuck, and you were trying to literally have sex with me in the back of your car. Now, for the next point, I need to remind y'all of what happened last video. So, last video, I basically said that he thought he was really good at sex because he was just, like, super rough. That's not what makes a good partner in bed. Like, that isn't it at all. Like, jackhammering fucking 24/7. Like, it's not nice. Like, it was not a good time. But also, I want to remind y'all of how he called me gross, right? Because I wasn't showering regularly. Also, another thing that I don't know if I really, like, this is something that I would talk about a lot, or, like, I want to talk about a lot. I don't know if I talked about it in the last video, but I'm going to talk about it now. The effects of being, like, severely depressed don't just, like, go away once you get better. You know what I mean? Like, even, like, still to this day, I'm fine. I want to read it. I'm, like, perfectly fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. I still don't shower regularly. Like, it's something in here where I'm like, oh, I need a shower, and then it's like, oh, fuck, like, I really, like, I don't want to shower, like, it's such a task, like, I'm fine, like, it's not, like, I could just go, but, like, psychologically, like, I've trained myself to think that a shower is, like, such a heavy burden on me. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, from the last video, 2 points I need you to remember. 1, he thinks he's super good at sex because he's fucking rough, and 2, he called me gross, right? He called me gross, and he called me gross a lot. I'm pretty sure I talked about this situation in the last video. I don't know if I did. Fuck, I don't. I'm gonna have to, rewatch my video because, I need, if I haven't told the story, I'm gonna have to tell the story. But it was a story basically where, he was at my house, he parked in, the driveway, and then he, used, the other guy's speaker, and, he just, wouldn't fuck off, basically. And I told him, multiple times, I actually, went up to him, and I was like, you need to leave. And he was just like, yo, I can't, let me just, stay over, basically, right? I'm pretty sure it was that night, because we had sex that night. After that night, he messages me and he's like, hey, I'm just letting you know, like, I've got, like, a rash. I don't know what it is, but I'm just letting you know, like, you might have something. And I'm like, okay, cool, chill. He messages me again later. I don't know what the time skip was, but again, he messages me, and then he's basically like, hey, I went to the hospital because it was starting to, like, burn and really itch. Like, it was bad. Basically, you're fine. They just told me that because I, like, freshly shaved, and then we had sex, and then, like, I didn't clean myself off whatsoever. A lot of bacteria got like into my skin, like under my skin, and that's why I have a rash. And I was like, okay, cool, nice to know. Like, that's a good update, genuinely. And then he was like, he tries to like make a joke out of it. And then he's like, they also said it was because I'm like too good at sex and all this shit. Nobody laughed. Maybe we would have laughed if it was true, but nobody laughed because it's not true and you're embarrassing yourself. And secondly, how am I the gross one? But you freshly shaved, we had sex, and then you didn't clean yourself off whatsoever. You have an external member there. Like, that should be touching things. You know what I mean? That one's not as bad as the next one I'm about to tell you about. Oh my god. So basically, again, I will reiterate. If a man wants to beat you up in bed, something is fucking wrong with him. I don't care if that's kink shaming. I genuinely don't give a fuck. If he enjoys being violent towards you, even if he's perfectly fine outside of the bedroom in every other instance, something is wrong there. So basically, this man asked if he could like punch me, right? And which is actually like a really revolutionary. I think we should really focus on the fact that he like asked first. I think that's like really important, and I think we should congratulate him for that. We should. But he asked if he was like allowed to punch me, and I was like, yes. He was the one who was like consistently bringing forth these like ideas and stuff because he was like super into like BDSM and all this whatnot. He was also, again, older than me. I was also, again, a child. So, like, he should be doing the research. We didn't have a safe word, by the way. We didn't have a safe word until like fucking like ages into the relationship. Because he just never fucking bothered and I didn't know how to bring it up because, again, I was a child. So he asked if he could punch me, right? I said yes. He got like super fucking excited, like unreasonably, like genuinely, I've never seen this amount of joy on a man. Like, it was really scary. I'm looking back on it, but he was so fucking excited. He asked if he could punch me in the face. I was like, yeah. He got like super fucking excited. Now, I reiterate, like, he is the adult in the situation. Like, he should be doing the research, right? Nobody should ever punch you in the face. Like, that should not be a thing. Like, because other parts of your body, like, if you like hurt them, they get stronger. You know what I mean? If you break a bone, you're like, it heals stronger, so you're less likely to break it again. Like, if you burn your skin, then it heals thicker, and you're less likely to, like, get through it again, you know what I mean? Getting punched in the face is not like that at all. And the more you get punched in the face, the more likely you are to get an injury from getting punched in the face. Now, I had to tell him this, which is crazy, because what do you mean? Like, you're supposed to, like, you're the adult, like, why are there no, like, safety measures? Like, why are you not checking that the shit that you want to do to me is safe? You know what I mean? Because it's one thing, like, getting, like, bruises and shit around your body, but it's another to, like, get a jaw injury, which is what fucking happened to me. He decked me during sex, and I got a fucking jaw injury, and I still have it to this day, and I can't give head anymore, because after, like, 5 fucking seconds, it hurts like shit, and it hurts when I eat too fast, it hurts if I eat too much, it hurts if I talk for too long. It's currently hurting now, and I'm gonna try and, like, show y'all, like, what it sounds like. That's just from me opening my jaw like this. And it has now been, like, what, 3 years? 2-3 years since then. I'm probably gonna have this shit forever, because I don't know how it fucking heals. I've tried to do like little exercises and shit, but other than like surgery, which I'm not gonna get because it's not that serious, like I'm not gonna go on just like surgery for it. I just now have a permanent jaw injury. He also had sex with my housewarming, which is just so fucking weird. Like, I had my friends there, and the amount of times he would, like, get me to have sex with him when it was just, like, not the fucking time and place was actually insane and diabolical and, like, needs to be studied. It was at my fucking housewarming. My friends are there. A lot of them don't know each other. You know what I mean? Like, I have to, like, be there as, like, the common ground for a lot of these people to, like, mingle and, like, get to know each other, right? Because it's weird otherwise for them to just, like, start talking to a... You know, a lot of, like, not all of them, like, super, like, extroverted and, like, outgoing and, like, you know? And he pulls me into the room. This house had fucking paper-thin walls, by the way. We just started having sex. It was just, like, such a, like, it was, like, throughout the entire time, it was so fucking uncomfortable because I was like, dude, my friends are in the other room. Like, my friends are not even, like, 5 meters away from me. And we have paper-thin walls. Like, they might as well be made with floss. And I like to end on a strong note for this, team. Basically, he didn't know how to cut his nails, right? Which is such a, I don't have the nail length to show you, but like I really want to show, oh my god. But he did not know. I told him this. I was like, hey, bestie, that's a really, like, you need to, like, cut your nails better because, like, they're sharp as shit. I kid you not. He would take his nail. I need, like, a piece of paper to demonstrate. I can't move. A cat is on me. But, like, he would take a piece of paper, like, he would take his nail, right? And he would just, like, cut. He would make it, turn it into a triangle. He wouldn't, like, round it off at all. He would leave the fucking top of his nail sharp as shit. Even if he cut the top, he would just cut it in a straight line. So it went, like, straight line and then two edges and then, like, you know, into his nail. And so there was sharp points regardless of how he fucking cut it. Most of the time it looked like a fucking triangle, like, genuinely a sharp as shit triangle. Like, when I tell you this, man, I don't understand how you at your big old ripe age could cut your nails like that. Are you not old? Are you not aged? Like, how did, like, if you were 3, yeah, but you're a fucking grown ass man. Just, and therefore he would scratch the inside of my coochie. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!